What's up, champ? How are you?
I'm great. I'm blessed. What's up?
We're blessed to have you. We truly appreciate you taking out the time. There's been a
Yeah, y'all
great
caught me at the
debate.
right time too.
There's been a
Huh?
great debate. Obviously, I put out that post. Some people thought I was crazy. It got Amanda to comment on it, and it's got my audience right now. There's over 1,200 people watching, talking about a potential fight with Gabriela, aka Gabzilla Fondora, and yourself. Now, obviously, it would take her to want to challenge herself to move up all those divisions, but do you think that's an unrealistic fight the way it's being met by some on social media?
Well, I was scrolling on my ex and I saw the post. I said, I know April Fool's just passed. So I was like, y'all funny. But listen, all in all, I think everybody would just love to see any type of matchup, if that was old or new, young or old. So, for me, if it gets the boxing fans talking, so be it.
Yeah, man. Because salute Alicia. He was hating on you. He was saying you ain't
Who was
got no
hating?
suit. The guy up the Dominican guy right here, my
No,
Dominican brother
no, no.
right here.
What I said, and
Oh,
I
he was
want you,
hating.
what I said, and I want you to let me know if I'm wrong. The super fight that we would pay per view is the Clarissa fight. She's not trying to give it to you. What's your other super fight? Sky Nicholson lost. Amanda's not gonna fight you because y'all team now. Like,
Who?
so is Amanda or Katie Taylor, who's on the way out, are they gonna retire or give Baumgardner a shot? So yeah, I feel like the next big super fight would be Gabriela Fondora. That's not hating. That's just trying to find you a big fight that we would be willing to pay per view for.
Listen, I would say I'm not mad at that mentality on that situation. I think there is plenty of pay-per-view fights to make. Again, we never know in boxing. You know what I'm saying? I know as much as we talked about me signing to MVP, we don't know what the future looks like. Maybe Amanda Serrano is in the future. Maybe Katie Taylor is as well. I don't see Katie Taylor retiring after this fight. Maybe. We never know. But what I do know is there's a rematch with Michaela Mayer that could happen at 140. I seen Michaela say that. So, um, again, I think there's a fight out there for sure that's pay-per-view. We just don't know which one it is yet. And that's what keeps it great.
So you didn't say if you think that fight was unrealistic though. Is that something you would consider?
Listen, that I for me personally, I think that's unrealistic. I'm a heavy hitter. You know what I'm saying? For Fandora to have to come up to my weight class, baby, I'm a dog. Do you see these arms? Like, I wouldn't want to hurt her. But I know
Hey,
we in the hurt game. You know what I'm saying? But listen,
this is what she
all
needs to hear so she can challenge
No, hey,
herself.
that's the chili killers right there. Respectfully, it's levels to this game.
But
This
that's
girl
what
right
Fondora
here.
needs to hear. Now she has to
Hold on.
decide, does she want to challenge herself? Does she want to prove to Bungana, well, I'm a heavy hitter too? We
listen,
just,
fight Tierra Brown. Go to 26 and fight Tierra Brown. Then we can have a conversation.
I mentioned that
Yeah,
one
Maybe.
too. You see, your name is just bigger, but I mentioned that one, but I don't want no one to say if she happens to beat Tierra, which I'm not saying she can, that Tierra was old because she is. You and her are both in your prime, where someone can say Amanda's on the way out, Katie's on the way out, Tierra's on the way out. And let's be real, everyone is 30. Gabby is the youngest female, so you two are like in my opinion, the biggest fight. It's the biggest fight. I'm just trying to manifest here, man. We never know. I'm just trying to
I'm not mad
manifest.
at it.
And Nicholson is off the table. We all wanted you in Nicholson. I'm not saying you can't do it. A loss doesn't define a fighter, but she lost. So it's not the same anymore.
Listen, I think at the end of the day, they just want to see me in the ring. So I think regardless on who it is, it's a matter of when and how soon, right?
So much to ask you. Do you guys want to jump in? I don't want to hog it, but the Derek James news, the MVP signing, just double
The
congratulations.
the Netflix July 11th. There's so much good news to talk about. What
So
we talking about
much.
first?
Exactly, and I want to make sure we touch on all of it. All of it. I mean, that was a fantasy fight with Gabriella, but what you got going on in real life is amazing. It's been life changing, and yeah, I just want to hear how has life been after the announcement, after letting the world know you're going to be on Netflix. I mean, like you said, so much to talk about.
Yeah, so much to talk about. Well, first, I just want to say that it took a lot of patience, and I'm so thankful to all my fans. Even y'all supporting me through just the midst of a whole bunch of stuff, and we came out on top as I knew I would. It was just a matter of time. We were negotiating with MVP for some time, and working out that deal and things like that, and it was just a matter of time. And I knew to take my boxing career to the next level, this was going to be my best move. And I've often mentioned that I'm not part of the old script of boxing. I'm writing my own script. And that's what I love about being in this era, 2025, the social media era, just who I am, representing self and, your brand. And I think Jake Paul has done an amazing job with that, and we can't take that away. So going to MVP has allowed me to be vocal. It's allowed me to have a voice. It has allowed me to be the businesswoman that I am and not just a fighter under a roster. It's big, it's a bigger picture. It's a movement. It's allowing women, again, however you want to look at it, they're having an opportunity to fight. Women just want to fight. They want to be paid and they want to do what they love. And MVP has provided that. And I'm happy that I can be, a part of this journey to help these young girls who have yet to be seen, yet to be heard, and yet to step in the ring. So that's with that with MVP. I think they're doing a great job with that.
You guys gonna jump in before I go to the people's
Yeah,
questions?
one question I have, Alicia. This is Johnny from the Hangout Spot. Nice to meet you.
Alicia.
So Alicia, yeah, I'm sorry, Alicia.
Okay.
So you mentioned MVP in the deal. Obviously, recently they've announced that Amanda Serrano has signed, I believe, a lifetime deal with Most Valuable Promotions, meaning she's going to be doing work for them after her career is over. I know this is looking ahead, but do you foresee something like that happening for you at some point where you can be a consultant, to be able to cultivate women talent for MVP in the future?
Yeah, I feel like with this the sport of boxing, I love to contribute in any way, even if that's on the men's side, even if there's on the women's side. Boxing's been my life. It's been my passion. So any type of way that I can contribute to the sport, I'd love to do that in the future, whatever that is.
Yeah,
But a
and
fight potentially with Amanda, that's not you wouldn't say that's off the table because when I first saw that you signed and then you guys were hanging out together at the Nick game, I'm thinking that ship sailed. They'll never fight each other. And that's a fight that I actually wanted, to see in the future. So that's not off the table. You're saying that that could potentially happen?
I mean, shit, I think anything can happen in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of where I keep it. I keep it open ended. We just never know. I know I've been very vocal about that fight as well. I know I'm sure MVP has known that for some time now. So again, we don't know, but I'm always open for that conversation. You know that.
How did you feel? And I'm messy. We all know that messy mess. But did you feel good when Nikita stepped in and kind of came to your defense on that Clarissa Shields question? Just wondering because I feel like every fighter wants a promoter to promote them and to
Mhm.
do what Nikisha did. I just don't know how you felt. It felt like you enjoyed the moment. How did it feel for you?
I think he did a great job. I think he did a great job speaking on behalf of his fighter and being part of MVP. And I think it's important to have a professional take when it comes to certain questions, when it comes to certain things. We can go all day talk about the whole situation, but sometimes it's necessary to just have Nikisa come in and just mention what he said and keep it moving.
For sure, for sure. Tone, nothing else before I go to the people?
yeah, I wanted to say congratulations. You are a new homeowner, correct? I saw you post the keys on your Twitter to
Yes,
the house.
listen. new homeowner, new car owner, new real estate. It's just everything has been so great. I'm so thankful. And again, like July 11th is going to be lit. New trainer, new home, like new city, new environment. Everything is just falling into place. I love it.
How
Yeah, and
has the trend? Oh, I'm sorry.
you're real inspiring because your TikTok lives, you really be like rooted in God and really be inspirational. Have you always been like that, or was it like a flip that switch? Because like you've inspired me to get to work when these niggas ain't dropping videos, I'm dropping videos because you be out there training. So where did that come from?
You know, I'm rooted in it. I'm rooted in being God's child, and I've always known to have this assignment on my life. My parents could speak for it. And, you know, it's coming up a year since my dad has passed. So everything has just been orchestrated in a way that there's no explanation for it, but it's just a calling. And when you have that calling, you just do the work. And I'm just happy that I can be here to speak about it, encourage, inspire, because it's very real. I mean, when the story is actually being taught and being shown, I think people will have just a better idea on who I am and why perseverance matters, and why whatever happens, it don't matter. It's something is always going to work in your favor. And that's just what kept my faith. So I've always had that as a young child.
And why on God's green earth would Michaela Mayer send you an offer after you whooped her pillar to post to pillar?
Because she loves me, and she still heard about that L that I took from her, like I said I would. And I'm not mad at it. You know, she took her little loss, and you know, she had to find herself again, and she got back to where she wanted to, and I love that for her. So at this point, she's feeling on a high, and she want to get that lick back. But baby, you could never beat me again, ever. Like,
Do you think she's
you
gotten
could never.
better?
I think she has improved on some things, yes. I just know she ain't beating me, because
And
I'm only getting better. Shit.
what weight would you take that fight? Because she's gone up so high now. She went to 54. She's at 47 right now. Where would you want that fight at?
I mean, she mentioned 140. I'll do 140. I ain't mad at 140.
Wasn't her initial offer for 47?
It was for 47.
And,
Yeah,
and is it 100% true that the offer was less than what they offered you the first time?
it was less. My manager Keith kindly called me. He was like, "Hey, they offered the mayor fight." And I'm like, "Okay, what wait, 147. Okay, how much?" "Well, less than the first fight." I'm like, "Absolutely not. I'm the champ here. Like, what are we talking about?" But again, I understand why they would make a low offer. Um, but nah, it's not that. I'm the big dog, like I've
So do
been
you
saying.
think
So
you say you understand? Obviously, I'm trying to read between the lines. The offer came at a time where you weren't announced with MVP. So do you think they thought they could catch you at a bad quote unquote time in your life because you didn't have a promoter?
not at all. I think they just try to play it and be like, well, let's give her this number. I'm not taking anything less than from the first fight. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just principle. I think you stand on what you believe in and what your worth is. And I'm still the undisputed world champion of the world. So you got to put some respect on my name,
Yeah,
respectfully.
it doesn't make any logical sense if you lost to fight to offer it at a higher weight for less money. It just seems like an automatic no. I was just trying to get your point of view on it.
Yeah, I mean that's all it was. You know, they throw around numbers. They try to see, you know, who they can grab with that. But like I said, I don't do anything less. This is business at the end of the day, and I need to make sure that I'm gonna get my bag and then some. So
All
that's
right,
what
I'm
that
going to go
is.
to the people. I got Ruin of 504. This says, what do you think of Clarissa crowning herself the GWOAT?
You're gonna have to ask her that, and I'm sure she's explained it many times.
What is the bomb? If she's the GWOAT and Ali is the GOAT and Floyd is the best ever and Earl is the big fish, what is
Mhm.
Alycia Baumgardner when it's all said and
Alicia
done?
Alycia Baumgardner is the top of the food chain. Like that don't change. When you go look up top of the food chain, you see what's on there. It hasn't changed in years. So listen, this is legacy. This is bigger than belts. Let's have an understanding here. It's bigger than the belts you win, the medals you collect. It's it's how you give back into a community like boxing, like you give back to a generation like the younger kids. Like it's bigger than me. And for me it's just like people are going to remember me by my acts of service, not only what I do in the ring but my acts of service on who I am as an athlete, an entrepreneur, and just someone who's loved the sport. You got to think about that. It's bigger than the belts.
So I be literally shaming these dudes for being sexist. So I'm gonna read this question only because I want to shame this guy. Cause I know the
Okay.
audience don't know that Quest is like this. Quest calls in with so much tough shit. He be even asking Tone to get in the amateur show I throw. And look how he does this. Hey, sexy. Quest from VA, congrats on your success. First of all, Quest, get a life. Talking about some hey sexy. Does that bother you that everybody is trying to like always make it about your looks versus your skill?
I mean, it is what it is. When you look good and somebody want to look at something, they're gonna look, and that's just what that is. But baby, one thing about it, these hands do the talking, so it just goes hand in hand. I love it. I love being a beauty and a beast. I look good at what I do in and outside the ring, so I'm not mad at it. But don't get disrespectful because then I'm gonna have to block you.
So we're gonna have
I
to
don't like the
ask. We're gonna have
disrespect.
to ask. Was Tone's recommendation blockable? Since he likes to throw people under the bus. When I said Gabby was your super fight, he said, You know how Tone does it. He got a lot of little catchphrases. Alycia Baumgardner and Sky Nicholson. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna say the rest, but that's his super fight for his
that's the
reasons.
that's the fight. That's see, I'm talking about what we gonna pay for. Pay-per-view. We off the bat. How much? Take my money. Take my bread
Give me
today.
your money, then give it to me.
I got you. I got you.
Terrible, terrible. So let me finish Quest question. He says, "Congrats on your success career so far. What's your favorite fast food spot and movie to watch?"
Okay, I was just talking about movies today. My go-to movie is 300. I love
Okay,
that movie.
I love it too. Great
It's
movie.
giving warrior spirit. It's just giving like, yeah, I'm seeing it on business and for my family and for my, you know what I'm saying, my culture. And then my favorite fast food, I barely eat fast food, but if I had to choose, I'm probably going through Chick-fil-A for sure and get me a number two extra Chick-fil-A sauce. So yeah.
Mm.
Wait, no chili killers? No chili killers?
Ain't no
Lord,
fast food for chili killies.
chili
Look.
killers.
We got Dodge that says, Alycia, Dodge Higher here. When you coming back to Charlotte, dinner on me whenever you do. Thanks for coming on the show and congratulations on the signing.
Yeah, Charlotte was a great time. Got to go to a HBCU out there just to experience the culture, the environment. I don't know when I'll be back there though. I ain't gonna lie to you, but great place.
We got Dre Day that says, salute, champ. Out of the active fighters today, who do you think is your best fight?
My best fight, active fighter. That's a great question. Listen, I want that Katie Taylor fight, y'all. I've been saying that for a long time. I want that fight.
I hope she gives it to you. I didn't even think like you've been sounding very confident. I hope that's you speaking it into existence, and maybe you know some inside info. But I just thought both them women were at the end of their career with this third fight. But if you believe she sticks around, that's amazing. That's a great fight. Where would you want that to happen?
Shoot, bring it to Dallas.
And would you be
Hey,
willing to go to her hometown if she asked? She hasn't been
Yeah.
back to Ireland since Chantel Cameron.
We can go to Ireland. Ireland is a great experience when I went the first time. It don't matter to me, y'all. I want the fight.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful. Next one is from Blunt Nature. Hey, champ. Glad to see you on the number one boxing podcast. call in show in the world. Question: where do you see your career in the next 3 years, or better yet, where would you like to see your career in the next 3 years? Keep up the good work. Stay hungry.
Appreciate it. Listen, the hunger is still there, y'all. It's lit. Like I was walking in the gym at 8 years old. And in the next 3 years, I see myself moving up to 35, you becoming undisputed, whoever has the belts there. I think that's a great look. Moving up to 40. There's so many exciting fights to have in these next 3 years. And boxing moves fast, you know. I have another fight scheduled this year. We want to fight twice this year. So depending on how things are, I want to stay busy. That's the most important part. So it don't matter who it is. We just want to get in there. In the next 3 years, I'm changing shit. That's just what I know. There's something to stamp on this sport and to stamp with what I'm doing in the game. So I'm just looking forward to what that's gonna look like.
I got, hey, champ, Mr. Leon. What businesses are you invested in or out of boxing? If not, what businesses are you interested in getting into in the future?
Yeah, so I've invested in some stocks. I have some investments there. Obviously, I'm doing real estate. I would love to invest in my next big project, which would be my boxing gym. I want to have something for women. I want something for women to be able to come train, have a safe space, have a safe environment. Obviously, a juice spot. I'm all into health and wellness. I think we need more healthy options out here, especially just in the athlete world. I want to go get a smoothie at 2 o'clock in the morning if I want to. So we need some smoothie joints out here that's 24 hours. But definitely some health and wellness spots, a gym, recovery. Like, again, we have to invest in the body, y'all. And one thing about it, we only get one. So make sure you're taking care of it.
So is Texas going to be home base now? Do you want the gym to be in Texas, or the state you haven't decided yet? Is that post boxing career?
Right now, Texas is home, and we just have to see what that looks like. Right now, everything is falling into place, and so I'm just following that. There's a lot of buildings here that I drive by. I'm like, oh, that'd be a nice building. That'd be a nice building. So things happen fast. So we never know.
And how did you decide on Derek James? Obviously, you are who you are, so you could have had anyone. Uh, how did you decide on Derek? Was it just location because you're in that state and city, or was it the chemistry? How'd you decide to pick Derek over everyone else?
Yeah, well, I knew I wanted to move out of Vegas. I was there for a year. Vegas was cool, but there was no way I was flying back to the Midwest. Did that, done that, and I thought about Derek James. I love his energy as a person. He's very laid back. He's a teacher, and I've been wanting to find a teacher. The last teacher I felt like I had was Coach Ali, who has passed, and he was a great teacher, so he reminds me a little of him and just the fundamentals of boxing. That's where we start at, and I just think he's a great fit, and this is somebody that I look forward to having multiple in the rest of my career with. And I've gained a lot from many other coaches, but I think this one's going to be the stamp on the career.
All right, we got Bucky Rogers from Delaware. Salute, Queen. Congratulations on all your success and newly signing to MVP Promotions. Questions: if you had it your way, what would be your next three potential opponents? Great question.
Great question. Next three opponents, not in any order. I would have to do Katie, Amanda, and Caroline Dubois.
Mm.
Oh wow, the
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
new
was.
the new kid
yeah.
on the block. What is it about Dubois? You just want to quiet the naysayers, or you see something in her that you think will make a beautiful fight?
She a little pup, and you know what I'm saying. She needs to be trained. So
Ooh,
I
ooh,
wanna I
ooh.
wanna I wanna let her know that one thing about it. I love the hunger as a young pup coming in the game, but one thing about it, don't chew off more than you can more than you can. And I just feel like she's been very disrespectful lately. And I don't like that disrespect because the last person that was disrespectful got beat and got her belts took. So
Mm.
yeah, just sometimes you gotta show them. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them. So
And
yeah, she would be a great fight at 35. Even old girl from Matchroom, Beatrice, you
Oh,
mm,
know.
you want Beatrice?
We want them all. I told y'all, I'm not ducking nobody. We want them
Okay.
all. Beatrice, Caroline, Amanda, Katie. Yeah.
Are
I mean, these are
you?
all these fights make sense at the weight class.
Where do you stand on the 3 minutes? Amanda definitely wants 3 minutes. Beatrice is a girl that's fought 3 minutes and pushes for 3 minutes. Where do you stand on that?
I can do both. That's the thing. Like I can do 2 minutes. I don't have issues with two, and I could and do three as well. So it's no big thing for me.
All right. Wayne Fitness, congrats, champ, on the signing. Is the
Thank
aim
you.
to fight Serrano, or will Jake keep you guys apart? Thanks for coming on the show. London, UK.
I
Respect
think that's a
emoji.
great question for Jake to answer. I think people have to understand like it's business at the end of the day. We're building the promotional company of MVP. So I don't think they shy away from that. I think they understand that there's money behind that. That's a big fight to make. So I mean, we never know, honestly, like I said.
Rob from LA, would you fight Tierra Brown?
I'll fight Tierra Brown.
CT's finest. Hey, champ, thanks for coming on the show. What's your music playlist when you're in the gym?
Yeah. My playlist be everywhere, y'all. But
fire. No, no. She no fire. Her taste in music is incredible, and she has different varieties. You got to send me the playlist. You ain't even dropped it yet. Get on Apple
I
Music.
know.
You need you to drop that.
I know it. I'm gonna drop it. But if I had to
Okay.
give, like, obviously we playing Drake. I like Big X. I love some Spanish music. I love I love it all. Anything with a good beat. When you can dance, because I know how to dance, you can put on any music and get a rhythm. Boxing is rhythm. You feel me? So it's just one of them things. If you know, you know.
Yeah, lucky for
Champ, do
me
you
and
dance?
Tone, we
Do you
was at the
dance?
appreciation night. We got to see that you know how to dance. You and all the other female boxers. Y'all had a great time. We appreciate you came out. I'm sorry, Johnny.
I wanted to ask her if she dances bachata, merengue, salsa. You dance any of those or all of them?
Cumbia, bachata, all that. I grew up
Mm,
in hell
that's
yeah.
what I'm
Listen,
talking about.
I grew up in Mexican culture. I was in quinceañeras. We were in quinceañeras every other weekend, and that was the best time to ask dad, can we stay tonight at our friend's house? Because that was the best time to get a yes. So yeah, I'm listen, very cultural over here. I love Spanish music. It's perfect.
Nice. Major media. Besides boxing, what's another sport you are good in?
Track, wrestling, softball. I wrestled first before I boxed, so that's what really built the confidence to become a boxer. But I love me some track though. I love a good 200 meter.
I got Huang out of Houston. What's the chance? What chance do you give Jake against Canelo realistically? Don't answer that, champ.
Yeah, next question.
Mr. Perfect, can you please come main event at LCA in Detroit?
LCA. We can I feel like at this stage in my career, I love to fight back in Detroit, but we trying to be in LA. I want to fight in Vegas. I think that would be the next big ticket on the agenda is Vegas. Little Caesar's cool. I wouldn't mind it.
All right.
I'm from the Mexican Atlanta, Phoenix, Arizona. You need to come run a squabble
The
against
Mexican
me.
Atlanta.
You need to run a squabble out here. You would love Alycia Baumgardner after party, big bags. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, say less. I like Arizona.
Yeah.
Next one is from Ali and Dago. Hi, Alycia. Who are your top 3 favorite fighters of all time?
Top 3 favorite all time. Gotta give Mike Tyson. Um, what's her name? Lucille Weicker. I gotta put her in there. And shit, Tommy Hearns.
Dre Bogus. Dre in San Diego. What up, champ? What's your go-to post-fight meal? Good question.
Shoot. Lamb chops and mashed potatoes and collard greens and yams and cornbread. Yeah.
Mad Bent in the Caribbean. What is your blueprint to be the face of women's boxing?
What's the blueprint?
What is your blueprint to
What
be
is
the
my
face?
blueprint? My blueprint is being myself, being very authentic, being very real, being vocal, and just letting that confidence be radiant for everybody to see. That's the blueprint.
George in the UK. Who has the best resume in women's boxing right now?
The best resume? Shit, I had to give that to Amanda Serrano.
Dom in the OKC. What's good, champ? Thank you for coming on the Boxing Voice for the interview. My question is, using active current women boxers today, build your ultimate boxer using defense, speed, footwork, and power.
That's a great question. I think the ultimate fighter. That's a great question. I have to think too much on that one, so we're gonna have to skip that question.
All right, all
But the
right.
power, you can put AB in there.
We got G from Brooklyn. Who do you think boxers today, excuse me, I read that wrong. Why do you think boxers today are so emotional / sensitive? Do you think it has anything to do with social media?
That's a funny question. One, I think everybody is emotional. And two, when you look at a sport like boxing and just the magnitude of the mental capacity that you have to train for months, to train for one day, to win or lose, it's either you're going to make it or you're not. You're either on top or at the bottom. That causes a lot of emotions to play in and it just happens, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, managing your emotions is one thing, but everybody's emotional. Shit, I am, but I manage my emotions and I know what I got to do to make sure that I got a level-headed mind going into what I'm doing.
2 more, champ, and we're done. Toledo Treese. If you and Caroline Dubois fought, would you want it in the United Kingdom, America, or somewhere in Africa?
Listen, bring your ass to the USA. Let me show you something.
And the
Come to the States.
final one is Octo that says, who's your favorite music artist? And give us one good movie we should watch.
Um, Go watch Temptations if you haven't watched Temptations.
Yes.
And yeah. Yeah. What was the other question?
I'm David Ruffin, and these are the
They
Temptations. That was big.
Who's your favorite music artist was the first part.
music artists. Um, Music artists. Yeah, I don't Drake shit. Drake.
Yeah, Drake.
Drake. Yeah.
Tone, isn't your favorite artist Kendrick?
Favorite art? My favorite artist is Jay-Z. But Alycia, are you a Grand Rising person? Do you like to be text Grand Rising, or is that nasty?
Text.
Nasty work, Grand Rising.
Nasty. These niggas in the chat is Grand Rising niggas.
We do
Nasty.
have an off-topic. Do you have time for one off-topic question that requires a woman's point of view?
Sure.
Tone, would you want to introduce that question that we've been asking, courtesy of Tim? What was the other fighter you asked? But don't miss out any of the parts, because then I'm going to have to jump in again.
So this nigga Tim was dating this girl for 8 years. He was cheating on her 5 out of the 8 years. She got fed up and told the nigga he got to go. He left
Wait.
the
You always mess up the story. She caught him, right? He's got his iPhone connected to his laptop. She caught the laptop, read everything, knew he was cheating via text only, according to him, but it was already a girl he'd already slept with and cheated, and she forgave him. But he's saying he wants to win her back. He's been on this 9-month win her back tour, flowers, writing letters, anything a man can do, he's been trying to do it. But she finally said, you got to go. But she let him keep the key. And he be over there Netflixing and chilling. So is it over is the question we're looking for. Like, that's the answer we want to know. In your mind as a woman, is it over and she's just, slowly pushing him away? Because I feel like if you let him keep the key, and he literally said he goes back there to walk the dogs, waits for her to get from work. Like, it's a weird relationship.
Well, first off, he out of here. Get that nigga gone. You're gone. You
pack him up.
gone. Bye.
Oh yeah, she did say she needs space when she let him go.
Yeah,
Yeah, pack your shit up. Pack your shit up and get on. That's one. And two, as a woman, women are very emotional creatures. She's already emotionally checked out. Now, does that mean she don't want some late night action? Don't mean nothing. She could get some late night action, but it don't mean she feel for him. Just like these men out here do the same thing when he went to go cheat. He didn't feel nothing, so she probably don't feel nothing either. So at this point, it's going to be up to her, because that emotional magnitude, like I said, is going to play on your mental. And at this point, I wouldn't want to be sharing nothing. Like, that's just nasty word. She need to get it together. But yeah, no, he fucked up. You
Well,
can't cheat. You can't cheat, bro. Listen, this is one thing about it. It's already playing on your conscience. So when you try to make it work, when you're trying to make it work with her, you just know you a shitty ass person. So you need to go do the inner work. You got to go do that inner work, because having her back is not going to help you. It's going to help you for a short period of time, but it's not going to help you internally. And internally, if you're cheating multiple times, you have some inner issues you need to deal with. You got some demons you're dealing with. Go fix that. And then maybe you can come back. But maybe then it's going to be too late, because I done moved on.
Facts.
sure. Well, champ, that is all the questions. I do appreciate you coming on the show. And, man, once again, congratulations. Very happy for you with all the success and the signing. Hope everything works out in your favor.
Thank you. I just want to say the Boxing Voice, y'all have been great always to me. Always the best content. Y'all crack me up. Keep it going, man. This is what boxing's been needing. Like I said, it's 2025, and anybody can do it. Y'all doing it. So shit, keep going.
Appreciate you. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
There you have it, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen. It's the champ, Baumgardner. Yeah.